The birth of professional football and the founding of Fulham FC. Today, football is one of the most popular sports in the world, and has established itself as a large-scale industry with numerous fans and players. However, the story of how football grew into the large-scale sport it is today is actually quite interesting. Its beginnings date back to the mid-19th century, when football was completely different from the professional football we know today. It was at this time that a football team called Fulham FC created an innovative turning point in professional football. 1. Early football and the amateur era. In the mid-19th century, football was an amateur sport mainly enjoyed by schools and local communities in England. At that time, the rules of football were not clear, and most importantly, amateur players who did not receive a salary played the game. So why did they play the game? It was simply for fun and friendly matches. Football at this time was strictly a hobby, and most players had other jobs such as school teachers or merchants. Inter-university matches, such as those between Oxford and Cambridge, were also actively held, and these became a place for social interaction. 2. The birth of professional football, Fulham FC's innovation. However, one big change occurred in football at that time. The appearance of a team called Fulham FC completely changed the landscape of football. Fulham was founded in 1879 and was initially an amateur team, but in 1885, it became the first professional team in history to pay salaries. Isn't that amazing? At the time, other teams still did not pay their players, and most players were office workers. However, Fulham made football into a profession. This was the moment that announced the beginning of professional football. The reason Fulham turned into a professional team was not simply to pay money. They introduced professional methods to improve the level of the game and enhance competitiveness. By paying salaries, players could focus on training, and through this, football began to develop into a more professional and competitive sport. 3. Spread and development of professional football. When Fulham FC turned into a professional team, a big change occurred in the football world. Now, other clubs began to follow Fulham's model, and professional football with salaries began to spread. In the early 20th century, professional football expanded into more and more clubs, and players began to take up football as a profession and receive more professional training. Now, football has grown beyond a simple leisure activity to become a global industry. 4. The present and meaning of Fulham FC. Today, Fulham FC is still a football team playing in the English Premier League, and its historical significance is very significant. Fulham is not only the first professional team, but also the team that led the professionalization and industrialization of football. Thanks to Fulham's innovative changes, we can watch and enjoy modern football. 5. Conclusion. Fulham FC, which laid the foundation for professional football. The beginning of professional football meant more than simply paying salaries to players. It was a significant turning point in the professionalization and industrialization of football. Fulham FC was at the center of that change, and played a decisive role in laying the foundation for the world-class football league we know today. The founding of Fulham was not just a team's innovation in football history, but an important event that led to the development of football. Relive the moment when football became a profession and an industry rather than just a hobby with Fulham FC.